everybody. We just wanted to give a quick update on our surrogacy journey and how things are going. We know last time we talked a little bit about just kind of how we had filled out the application and kind of where we were going with that, but there's been a few steps that we have kind of gone on, and then obviously a pretty big update. So we just wanted to kind of update everybody and let everybody know what's happening.
So we are moving along through the process, and so at this point, so last we left you, the agency was still collecting my medical records, and it felt like them getting my medical records took, I don't know, it felt like 1,000 years. It wasn't 1,000 years, but it felt like 1,000 years. I think it was close to a month, like a full month for them to get my medical records. And then there was like some handwritten notes in my medical records. We had to call and go back and forth. So the agency got the medical records and said that they feel good about having me as a surrogate. So we are through that portion of the steps. And then we had our home visit with our specialist from the agency. So that was also part home visit, part interview, because a lot of times during the initial visit, she said spouses aren't always there. Sam's been along for the ride the whole time. So she had already asked him a lot of the questions. So his portion was actually pretty short, she said, for the home visit day. And then we gave her the tour of the house. And so check, we were approved for our home visit. And then this last week, we had a really big one. Yeah,
the one that we were really worried about, let's be honest, was the psych evaluation that we had to kind of go through. And so
we thought that, make sure we're not crazy. We got online, so it was an online appointment. And of course, our poor psychiatrist, her internet was out. So we thought that we had done something wrong. We thought we had the wrong link. And then we joked maybe that was just a test to see if we were actually really going to stick around. But once we got through, it was a question and answer portion for both of us. And so there was lots of things. I think most of them we had already thought about, just stuff about what's your comfort level with people in the delivery room, and how many embryos do you feel comfortable putting back? Our preference is 1 embryo to put back, which is what most IVF clinics now do. The one where she talked about that really threw me off was, she asked if we would be willing to do a tandem surrogacy, and I was like, what is it? What is that?
Yeah, that was a little.
And she said our agency doesn't even do tandem surrogacies, but that's where a couple or a person would have more than one surrogate at the same time growing multiple babies. And I was like, no, thank you. No, thank you for that. But it was interesting, and it's really to make you think about all the risks and the reality of the situation, and to make sure you've really understood what you're doing. So it was more about that. And then the actual psych test. So once we did all the questions, Sam was able to get off the call. And so I moved, got comfy, and I got to answer a 350 question test. And so that was really exciting. And it's not questions like you would think of. It was all a statement. So there were 350 different statements, and you had to mark, was this not true at all, slightly true, mostly true, or very true. And so you had these 4. And so some of them were things that you would think of in a psych eval, do you have suicidal thoughts, or do you feel worthless, or I feel worthless, and you had to mark whether that was not true at all. But then there were some really random ones, like my favorite sport is the high jump. And I was like, I don't know the right answer to this question. And so it was great. It was
actually the pole vault.
Yeah. That was a whole other thing. And so it was a lot, and you had to kind of not overthink them. So you just had to answer. And then there were obviously lots where it was I'm not blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hold on, I am not, is this true? Not true. And I was like, so that took a little bit to get through. But she gave me my results right at the end. So she was like, you did great. She said, you're a leader, you're confident, a generally happy person. It did show you could sometimes be overwhelmed. And I know everyone in our world is shocked by it.
Yeah, let me tell you.
So now.
Yeah, the big thing now is that we've got the green light to go start looking at families and start kind of going through that.
So I turned in all my stuff for my profile with our agency. So they're going to put together a profile. And what will happen next is once our agency has the results from the psych eval, then she'll be able to start sending us some profiles of families. And we'll look at their profiles, and the families can look at our profiles. And if we both match, so if a family goes, yeah, we really like this option of a surrogate, and we say we really like this family, then we will get to do a match call with them. So that's sort of the next big piece of the process. The match call doesn't mean we're for sure matched, but it's an opportunity for us to meet them over some sort of Zoom call and like just get to see if it would be a good relationship, because it's kind of a big commitment.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at with surrogacy. We were very blessed by how many people have responded so positively, and we're super open to your questions about the process along the way. So we know that you guys want to stay updated, so we'll do our best to keep you updated as we go, and just know we appreciate all of the love and support.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys.
Thank y'all.